Hey everybody, this is your energy healer, Zach Lewis. Today I'm going to do an energy healing on where is my career going. So the other day I was sitting in meditation, kind of feeling around for what would be the best energy healing to do for everybody. And then I got this feeling like I should work on career. I think a lot of people are feeling quite a bit of uncertainty right now with their career. So I'm going to do an energy healing based on whatever is most up for you at the moment. So in a second, I'll pop up some numbers on the screen, and then you can go ahead and pick whichever number you're most intuitively guided to. Go down to the description box below, and then you can fast forward to the energy healing that's right for you. In each one of those, what I'm going to do is basically sense the pattern of experience, or like the most dominant pattern of your experience. I'll talk a little bit about how that's gotten you into a problem, where it came from, and then I'll work on a solution to help guide you out of there. And then I'll do an energy healing for you on that. So a lot of times I do energy healing while I'm talking and explaining things. So if you're really sensitive, you might feel stuff. If you're pretty new to this stuff, you might not. Either way is fine. Either way it works. But I'm going to go ahead and pop the numbers up on the screen so you can just take a pick, and yeah. So I'll give you a second to decide now. Okay, so before you jump to your number, I'm going to do an optional but recommended grounding meditation, which makes it a lot easier for me to read you, and it also will make you feel a lot more present, so you'll probably feel better during the meditation. It's optional, you don't have to do it, but yes, I strongly recommend it. So yeah. Oh, and also, just in case you're curious about how any of this stuff works, I have a podcast that talks all about that, so if you're curious about the how, my podcast will explain a lot more of that. But in these healings, I just want to focus on actually just doing the healings and helping your life get better. Let's go ahead and get into it. So go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold. And then release through your mouth. And then hold at the bottom of your breath when you have no more air in your lungs. And then breathe in again. So go ahead and keep that rhythm going. And then on your next inhale, I want you to breathe up from the center of the earth into your feet. And then we're going to start paying attention to our body, bottom of our feet, tops of our feet, ankles, into our calves, up our shins, into our knees, paying attention to all the little joints and ligaments there, wrapping into our legs, up our thighs, into our groin area, pelvic area, hips, and into the lower torso. You might already start feeling a little bit different, even though we just started. And now bringing your attention into your mid-torso, your upper torso, up into your chest, up your spine, into your shoulders, your arms, biceps, triceps, elbow, forearm, wrists, hands, palms, fingers. And now up your neck, up your throat, up into your head, down your head, down your forehead, noticing your eyebrows, your eye sockets, your eyeballs, your nose, your mouth, your jawline, ears. And now just trace the outline of your body with your attention. Now you can connect to the collective momentum of this. So think about all the people that are going to be doing this meditation, that are going to be doing this energy healing. And then just notice we all have the same intention. We're all headed in the same direction. You can take advantage of that. Okay, cool. Should be feeling pretty grounded. And now we're ready to go. All right, group one, you guys are up. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on for you. Okay, you guys aren't too focused about where your career is going. That's kind of like a secondary focus for you. It's more about money. Yeah, it feels like you're much more focused on just like making money, like how am I going to make it to the end of the month, that kind of thing. This is a general reading, so that may not apply to everyone, but for a large majority of the people in this group, you're just feeling like, okay, how do I survive? How do I make enough money? For this group, even though you would appear to be a very like, tough guy, tough girl to everybody else, you're super sensitive, and because of that, you don't want to like push people down. Like you feel like in order for you to get yours, in order for you to go out and, like hunt for what you want, it's like that's what you don't want to do. For most of the people in this group, this isn't even you. This comes from inherited programming, inherited conditioning. So let me explain that a little bit better. So you don't want to go out and hunt for food, hunt for money, because you feel like if you go do that, even though you're very tough and everything, you have like that soft side where you don't want to push people down, you don't want to take advantage of other people, and it just feels kind of like cruel. It feels like a survival of the fittest. That whole idea is big for you, and you don't like it. So that's why you feel stuck, because you feel like, I don't want to go and attack people, push people down, shove people out of the way, with like I think of like holiday shopping with like Black Friday. It's like either you get it or I get it, and it's like pushing people out of the way. That's kind of the thinking, and that's the pattern that's got you frustrated with money, because you don't want to do that anymore, as well as there's a higher part of you that knows that that style of operating in the world is becoming obsolete and is actually going extinct. Feels like a little too intensive a term, but that's the idea. You know that there's a better way, and even though you are capable of going out and getting yours, you don't want to do that anymore. It just doesn't feel right anymore, and you feel like there's definitely something else new for you. And that's probably why you're here, is because you're thinking through that, and it's just like, yeah, I just wish I felt differently, but that's just the truth of the world. Well, I think you might have a different opinion by the end of this. Okay, so let's talk about where this pattern came from. So this pattern, for the vast majority of the people listening to this, it's not even yours. It's something that you inherited. So the metaphor that comes up is it's like when you were born in a city, and then that city has a sports team, and then you like that sports team because that's where you grew up. It's not even something you really chose. It's just kind of like, that's what we all do here. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's just, if you're born in Chicago, you're going to like the Chicago White Sox. If you're born in Boston, you're going to like the Boston Red Sox. If you're born in New York, you're going to like the Mets or the Yankees. It's just like whoever was in your community, they kind of just put that into your world and then expected you to just be that way, and then you just took it on. The same way that happens, where it's like you didn't even choose your team. It's not like you looked at all the 50 different other sports teams and said, oh, okay, which players do I like, and did I make the decision here? You're just kind of going with the flow. So that type of thinking was a gift. If we go back 10,000 years, like that kind of thinking was super important for the survival of the herd. But now in modern day, especially with how the energy is changing in the world, that kind of way of existing doesn't feel so good anymore. And you're probably here because even though you're capable at existing in that world, there's a part of you that doesn't want to do that anymore. You don't want to have to make somebody else lose in order for you to win. Okay, so here's the new pattern that I'll help you install if you want it. So the metaphor that I'm getting is like, imagine just like a big thing of dirt, and it's just all the grass is really dry because the sun's been beating down on it. It's like dusty, all the grass is like dead and all that stuff. There's a tree that comes up, the tree becomes really big, the tree becomes big and strong, and then what happens is the leaves come out, and now the leaves of the tree, those create shade. Because they're creating the shade, then what happens is the moisture can stay there in the ground, and then that starts bringing out more life. Like the mushrooms can start growing, the little flowers can start growing in the shade of the tree, and then what happens is that attracts the animals. Then the animals come in. So this is the new paradigm of money and abundance for you. It's one in which your amplification amplifies other people. So what I'll help you do is feel more like that's true and more like that is a legit way that the world works. Because once you feel that way, your reality is going to start changing, and you're going to start noticing that. So the new paradigm is one in which your amplification, you amplifying yourself, you expanding yourself, creates this harmonious benefit for everybody else around you. Like you contribute to the ecosystem in that way. Rather than like you have to go and kill and attack something and then bring it back to the tribe in order to make a contribution. Tribe could be, your coworkers. It could be your team if you run a business. It could be, your peers. It could be your family. Instead of you having to do that, you're entering this new paradigm of money and abundance, which is where you just amplify who you are, and that benefits everybody collectively. So you can still fulfill your core desire to be a contributing member of your tribe, of your society, or whatever. But you don't have to do that at other people's expense. You don't have to go out and do things that you feel bad about afterwards. Like you don't have to do that anymore. And that's probably why you're here. So if that's something that you want help with, then I'll go ahead and start doing the energy healing on that. For any of these healings, you can override all my energy healing abilities because you're the boss of your life. You have ultimate authority, and any healer that tells you otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. If that's something that you want, you can open up your energy. If that's something that you're not too sure about, you can close off your energy, and that's fine. The way that you do that is just kind of say yes or no. If you want help with that new pattern coming in, I'll help you start shifting that now. Just take a deep breath in. Pay attention to your body. So as you're letting go of this pattern, one thing you might have to let go of a little bit is like that pride of, look what I caught, look what I brought in. Imagine like the caveman that's like bringing back the dead antelope. They get some props from people. Those people could be your parents, your coworkers, your colleagues, your employees. They could be acknowledging and celebrating you for that. So you're gonna have to let go of that a little bit if you want the new reality. Which, trust me, it's way better that way, because then you won't have that resistance anymore, so then you can grow to even higher and higher levels of abundance than you've ever experienced, which includes money. But just want you to be aware, that's something that will change for you if you listen to this. Okay, so some of us are feeling like, not sure if I trust this guy. He might kind of be full of it. Like, how is he just gonna wave his hands and then things are gonna change? Since you respond to results, I'm just gonna ramp stuff up so you'll feel it a little bit stronger, and that'll help you. That'll help you feel safer in letting go of this stuff, because then you can feel for yourself that it's real. So just give me a sec and I'll ramp it up. Another heads up, as this one integrates, you might notice that people from your old tribe, you're going to start acting a little bit differently, and then they have to kind of reorient themselves around you. Just be aware of that. They're just kind of recalibrating to a different version of you. And if they get a little grumpy, you get a little grumpy, it's not that big of a deal. You'll be all right. If it's really bothering you or you're having serious stuff come up, feel free to write a comment below, and then maybe I can do another energy healing to soften that. But it's important that you move forward with this and you go all the way. Okay, cool. That's it, group number 1. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you like this, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, all the things, and we'll see you next time. All right, group number 2, let's see what's up for you guys. Okay, so for this group, it feels like you're coming to a gradual ending. It's just kind of like a soft, mellow, gentle ending. That means it's not going to be abrupt, you're not going to be blindsided. You may be phasing out, and out of the old career and something new is coming in, but it's going to come in a very gradual way. It's not going to be overwhelming. You're going to be okay. For the majority of people watching this, you already know like a couple of options. There's probably like one or two that you're actually even excited about, and it's just going to be a very gradual transition. So here's the pattern that's at play. So I see this meme that goes around the internet all the time where it's this this little girl who's holding on to her teddy bear, and she's like, but I don't want to give it up. And then I think it's Jesus. He's like kneeling down. He's got his hand out, and he's like, here, just give it to me. Just trust me. And behind his back, he's holding this humongous teddy bear that is obviously representative of the upgrade. But she's just like a little bit unsure, and she doesn't want to let go of the old thing for the new blessing to come in. So for this group, it's like really this wonderful, wonderful upgrade. It's happening whether or not you do any like healing on it. This isn't so much of like an energy healing that we need to fix something necessarily. This is more just like a reminder, affirmation, confirmation that everything's like working out for you, and you're totally supported. It's going to be like a very gentle transition for you, and you're going to end up twice as happy, or if not more, in your new setup. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you're even changing companies. This could be like you're transitioning to a different role. This could mean if you own a business, your business is just like shifting a little bit, like you're putting just a little different focus. And like that transition for you, it's just knowing that you're guided. It's knowing that, you've got other guides, angels, those kinds of things that have been watching your back the whole time. So if you want to open up to that, I guess I could do that a little bit more. So you'll start seeing more synchronicities. You'll start seeing more, like perfect timing coming in, and you'll start seeing more of those things that kind of awaken you to that. So that could be helpful. So maybe I'll do that, because then in the future you might have more changes. So this is like a way of you being guided through a change in a very gentle way, so that next time around you don't have that same fear that you used to have. So for yours, I'm gonna say it's totally optional. If that message alone is all you needed to hear, then you're good. If you want me to do a little energy healing, so you start seeing more of the synchronistic things, and you start developing even more of a closer relationship with your angels, your guides, your higher self, source itself. Like if you want to start developing more of a trusting relationship, and you want to start seeing a little bit more regular synchronicities that will start making you pay attention to spirituality a little bit more, then I'll do that for you. So if you want that, open up your energy. If you're good, you can just click out or just close off your energy if you're not sure. Either is totally fine. You do not have to do it at all. But if you're interested, take a deep breath in and out. So I'm going to edit that pattern for you. That you feel like I'm alone. To knowing that you're guided. And you won't even get to full knowing you're guided. It'll be like, like I can start exploring this. I never thought about that. And you'll start having more synchronicities happen. So you'll start entertaining the idea of maybe I am. So I know for this group, that might make life a little bit more complex. But if you don't like it, you can revert back. There's like a window for a while, you can go back. So it's important for you to know that you're in control of all this stuff. I can't decide things for you. I can kind of kickstart things into motion, but you're the one that ultimately gets to make the choice, and you have full authority on your life. So you get to make all the decisions here, and yeah, that's gonna do it. So if you enjoyed this, like, comment, and subscribe. Consider sharing, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. All right, group 3, you guys are up. Let's see what's going on for you. So first thing you get is like, you guys are super happy about whatever's going on. You might not be changing jobs or, changing the direction of your business or anything like that. You might actually be getting like promotions and really cool stuff coming in. So that's the change. So yeah, that's just cool. Okay, I get it. So you might be having, like, you're getting more and more of the accolades, the achievements, the raises, the promotions, like more money, more clients, like all that stuff's growing and it's going really, really well. And then you're just kind of like, is this it? I feel like I should be more excited for this than I am. You might be thinking to yourself, you're probably happy about it, where you actually do feel really good about it, but there might be this part of you that feels like, is this really it? Is this really like the whole point of life? And so for you, it's probably about moving into a sense of deeper meaning beyond just career. So let me see if I can figure out what's going on there. So the metaphor that comes up is like a fish swimming in a bowl. Fish is like doing tricks. Maybe like you could expand this to like dolphins doing tricks when they're in captivity. They can be doing like really impressive stuff. They're getting all the food, they're getting all the things, but they're kind of sectioned off from the rest of their experience, which is why they're, even if they look happy, sound happy, everybody thinks that they're happy, like they might not be having the most enjoyable time, despite having a lot of the things handled that most other people, well, not necessarily most, but a lot of people are struggling with. So you might feel guilty that you have all these things, everything's going so great for you, but you still feel that missing void. So what I'll help you bring in is like just connecting to your spirituality a little bit more, so that you can start finding abundance beyond like comfort, beyond security, like good timing. That's like a level of abundance, and that's like really, really fun. So an example, another metaphor for you to start understanding like what this energy healing will work on is, so for me, for like over a decade now, I've been working remotely. This is kind of like a new thing for a lot of people, where they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to actually go into a job anymore. And then they're like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then they start driving around. And since they don't have to go to their job from 9 to 5 p.m., a lot of us have been forced to stay home because of like pandemic restrictions and things like that. And people are still working and still making money, like they're breaking out of a matrix of programming where they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to have traffic anymore. Like that just doesn't exist in my life anymore. So that's a layer of abundance that even if you have like a murdered out black on black Range Rover and you've got like the fancy watch and whatever, you still have to sit in traffic like everybody else. So the abundance that you're moving into, so this isn't necessarily about changing your career, but the way that you interact with abundance, the way it's moving into for you is, that all those other layers of abundance which you may not be enjoying. It's not just about traffic not being a thing, but it's about having good timing so that you leave, and like the second that you're inspired to leave to go out and do whatever you have to do, there's just no traffic on the road. It's about having good timing in all the different aspects of your life. So in your work life, you come up with ideas at the right time, you meet the right people, they like show up, and you're like, this person's so cool, I don't understand why they came into my life. And then like the next day, you get this inspired idea and you're like, who am I going to talk to? Oh, that person that just came in. So good timing is one way that it could show up for you. There's like also like bartering and gift giving might be a thing for you. It's funny because when we have like a lot of abundance in our own life, we have a lot of money, a lot of security, we just buy whatever we need. But the thing that we miss out on is like the joy of gift giving and exchange. Like it can be such a, you know, personal thing, an intimate thing where it's like, you know, you're supporting, you know, people that you care about, they're supporting you. It's like the trading and bartering of knowledge or skills. That's like a layer of abundance that a lot of times we can totally miss out on by being incredibly self-sufficient and reliant. So you can keep all this, the good stuff, you can keep all the security, but like to access that deeper level of meaning for you in terms of interacting with abundance, that's what I'll work on and help you bring in. So if you'd like that, hang out, open up your energy. If you don't want that or you're unsure, just close off your energy. You just basically, in your head, just say yes or no. And you can override any of my healing abilities, which is important for you to know, especially when we're doing kind of out-of-the-box energy healing stuff. So I'll go ahead and start working on that for you. So go ahead if you want this, then take a deep breath in. So this is just coming up, like for you, think of abundance as like a flow, and like the more that's flowing to you, through you, as you, it's like that as the energy's moving through you, that can be a really exciting feeling. So it's like, you know, if you get inspired by something, you feel a rush of energy like jolting through you. Abundance can feel like that. It doesn't have to feel like stagnant and like you have to hold on to it, like you have to protect it as much. It can be this thing where you just let a lot flow through you. Like you can still have surplus and you can still keep all that stuff, but for that deeper level of satisfaction that that this group is all about, it's about opening up the bandwidth for more stuff to pour through you and you to experience that more fully. So that's what I'll help you with. So just a heads up for you on what to expect. The spiritual stuff might start opening up a little bit for you. Dreams, you might start paying attention to that. You might see repeating numbers on the clocks or look at license plates or I don't know why I feel this, but like you'll, like I see like lottery tickets. Not like you're going to go win the lottery, but like, I don't know, maybe. But you could like win like those little scratchers or stuff like that. You'll get inspired to like go, oh, let me go buy like one of those little scratchers, and you might win something small. That'll be a really cool experience for you because you go and then you're like, you listen to the timing and then you won like, it's $5 or something, or you win like another ticket. So just keep everyone's expectations in check there. But it'll be cool for you to see like, you'll feel your intuition increasing, guiding you to different events and scenarios that give you that sense of rush of feeling, and that it helps with that void that you feel right now. Even though you have all the things, you should be happy. Like this will help give you that rush. I'll work on you a little more. So, in case you can see or hear the cat, he kind of decides when we're going to hang out. So, and he loves coming around when I'm doing energy healings. Go figure, huh? Alright, so let me finish up. Pay attention to about 3 to 6 inches above your head, above the top of your head. Just focus in on that area. You might have more books or people like me showing up in your life. I'm just helping you retain your power so that you don't get seduced by people with abilities. Everyone's still human. A psychic can still have insecurities. Energy healer doesn't mean they're a perfect person just because they can do something cool. I'm just adding in that level of discernment so that you can tell what's good for you, what's not good for you, and you don't just get wide-eyed and seduced. Alright, so for this group, if you're feeling it or not, you might want to stay hanging out in meditation, just staying in this space, just stay here and hang out if you got another 15-20 minutes or however long you want to. You don't have to do it that long, just hang out here for a little bit so you can just start feeling comfortable with this. So I'm going to move on to the next group, but hang out here if you feel inspired to. And then whenever you're done, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all the things. And I'll see you guys next time. Alright, what's up, group number 4? Let's go ahead and check out what's going on for you. First thing I notice is I feel really spacey when I step into your energy. It's confused, not knowing where to look. Probably feeling disoriented. Not necessarily scared. It's not frantic, but it's just spacey, what is happening? And you feel okay underneath all of it, that you're going to be fine, but you do feel a little bit discombobulated. Okay, so for this group, it's all about you making a choice into the direction of your future. Yeah, so it's not even you have certain paths laid out. It's not you have 3 options and then it's pick which one you want to, because you could handle that very naturally. You're very good at analyzing things. You're very good at making sound decisions, being actually pretty rational. It's crazy that you found this, but maybe that's why. Because you have unlimited possibilities, which may sound kind of frou-frou to you, but you really do. Okay, so now I get it. So basically what you're doing is, usually when someone puts 3 choices in front of you, you can pick one of the 3 choices and then you can follow that through. And if that choice doesn't work out, then who do you get to blame for it not working out? Well, it's the person who put the 3 choices in front of you. It's like, I only had these 3 options, so I made the best out of the worst, and yeah, it wasn't really my fault. So what happens now is that's the way your career is going. You get to choose how you want it to go. Like, you kind of have like a blank slate, fresh start. It's not even blank slate. You have like support and momentum coming behind you that you can direct in any way. But this is about you taking back the responsibility and the self-empowerment of choosing where you want to go in life. The whole options thing, it's just a way of you not having to have full responsibility for things going well or things not working out, because then you can ultimately go back and be like, well, this person, this other entity, for some of us it'll be like religion, like it put this in front of me and these are my choices and I just have to do it. Like, these are just my circumstances. But that's not at all true. Like, you can go any way that you want. The way that you've been blocking yourself off from having that is by not wanting the responsibility of that, because if you're the one that's in charge and you can have unlimited possibilities, you can take life wherever you want to go. But then if it works out, then it's on you. And if it doesn't work out, it's still on you. This isn't like I'm not blaming in any of this stuff. I'm more just pointing this out so you can understand what's going on. And that's why things may have been so limited for so long, is because you were just like trying to outsource your decision making to something or someone else rather than you having full control and authority of it. The reason that you did that is because you just didn't want to have to bear the weight of that level of responsibility for yourself. So we've all gone through times like that where we could have other kinds of family emergencies or health problems or friends in need, like that kind of stuff could come up, and then we just kind of like buckle down and we try to help them through stuff. And then we just kind of like simplify life into like, okay, there's these 3 choices, so which one do I choose? And then we can get through that. And the problem is then we get locked into that way of thinking where it's like, okay, well, what are the 3 options? When the truth is we can decide whatever we want. And then if we stay there and we hold on to that, we can like summon different options. So it's like, instead of you just having 3 choices, you can summon a set of these 3 options, a set of these 3 options, or a set of these 3 options. So you have 9 options. But for you, they get presented in terms of like 3 choices. You can summon all of that by just deciding like, this is where I want to go. And then the outside and inside will conspire to present you with options that fit the choice that you want. So after this, like, you might go through a little bit of a clarifying experience around, what stuff is fated and what stuff can you determine, and you'll work out your relationship with that. So let me talk about what's going to happen as you change this so that you can kind of preview that, see if it's what you want. So I just get the feeling of like a little kid. Like, little kids, they're so full of possibility and they see so much potential. You may have been forced to be a little bit more pragmatic or realistic about how you're approaching life. And after this, you might have that childhood sense of wonder again. So if you're ready for that, that can be a very freeing, liberating experience, but people might not understand why you're doing things as much. You might not understand why you're doing things as much, but it's going to feel a lot better. So if that's what you'd like, I'll do the healing. You just open up to it or close off to it. Either way is fine. You just kind of energetically say, yes, I want this. No, I don't. Either one's fine. The reason I bring that up is just because when someone's doing like energy healing or something that you may not have experienced before, a lot of people, they kind of get into like this, there's like this psychic or business mentor or healer, they can do this amazing thing, and then we enter like a pedestal dynamic with them. Like, you have full authority here. You can override my changes. You have full authority and you have more control in your life than you know. So just want to make that clear. You're the one that's ultimately changing this. I'm kind of kickstarting it and helping it get going and pointing it out so you can see the pattern, but you're the one that's actually making the change. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. Release your mouth. Pay attention to your stomach area. like in between your belly button and your sternum. Your sternum is where your rib cage comes together. So just like halfway between those 2 points. Helping you remove that fear of responsibility. So one thing that'll help you accept that responsibility over the direction of your life is just look at how like rational you are. Like you make very good decisions. You know, you've been making all the 3 options. Those have come up over and over and over again for you. You've usually picked pretty good ones. Even getting to where you are, it's pretty good. So just acknowledge that you have been making good decisions and you can still handle making good decisions even if you have more than 3 options. Pay attention to your spine right now. Just removing like some of the static that gets in the way of your internal clarity so that you'll just feel clearer. You also feel calmer when you're making decisions. And you'll feel the decision, this is a weird way to explain it, but like with your whole body instead of your head and racing around your head, like your whole body will. So I'll just trust that you know what that means for you. As long as you hang out in that energetic space, it's going to feel like I'm still doing my thing on you. One thing I just wanted to bring up is like if you need help making sense of all this stuff, you might want to go listen to other videos or other podcasts. I have a podcast, shameless plug, that explains a lot of this stuff. So it doesn't have to be mine, but you going like learning different things about it will help you feel more empowered and more confident in yourself. So use studying and knowledge acquisition to your benefit. It's very helpful for you, very grounding. All right, cool. So that's it for you, group number 4. I'll see you guys next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. See you soon. All right, what's up, group number 5? Let's get into it. Let me scan you and see what's going on. If you're wondering how do I scan if I'm not doing this live, it's better when it's done live, but we're on YouTube, so it's got to be a recorded thing. So it's just kind of like, think of like going to a concert or like having been at a concert or big sporting event or something like that. If you remember being there, you could feel exactly what it's like. And if somebody's telling you a story of what it was like being with that group, sometimes if they are doing a good job describing it, you can kind of feel the energy of what it was like. So that's basically how I do some of this stuff. So just in case you're curious. If you want to hear more, I've got a podcast that explains all about it, but let's just get into the healing. Okay, so for this group, the pattern that you've been feeling for a while is like life is just so repetitive. It's like Groundhog's Day over and over and over again. Just like the same stuff over and over and over again. So you might be feeling really bored. And you might be feeling like, yeah, I'm bored, but that's like all life is. So let's see what else. Okay, so let me break this pattern down. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of information. So when you're like a little kid, one way that your parents would create stability for you, which is awesome for little kids, is by doing the same thing over and over again. So if you saw mom and dad, it could be both mom and dad, it could be either one, it could be a grandparent or even like an influential like uncle or aunt, some sort of adult authority figure that was in your life. If you saw them doing the same thing over and over again, you just kind of like learned that behavior and you just expected like that's how life works. As you took on that pattern of like that's how life works, you started creating that into your life. You might even be able to remember the specific moments as I'm talking about this where you're like, oh yeah, I remember I'd see dad, he'd always make like a turkey sandwich or a peanut butter and jelly, I don't know, some kind of weird sandwich, but he would make that and then every single day you'd see him get up and he'd do the same routine over and over and over again. And then you just kind of decided, okay, that's how it works. That's how life is. And then that's when things may have started changing from you from more like imagination, creativity, and wonder. It's not like it happened all at once, but like that's where that started to shift. So a lot of this stuff, that sense of repetitiveness and boredom that you are probably feeling in career, it's not even you. It's just a pattern that you took on from somebody else. You absorbed that pattern. There are a lot of studies on this, like when we're in childhood, like from 0 to 7, our brainwave is primarily theta. But anyway, that's the one that hypnotists also use to induct hypnotic trance. So when we're a kid, we're just like hypnotized and we're basically absorbing all the information because there's so much information. There's no way that we can consciously process all of it. So it's just like we kind of unconsciously download it. So when we do that, we take in a lot of patterns, and the patterns are usually pretty awesome for a while, but then after a while we can outgrow them. So in your case, that stability that was created through repetitive motion, like the same thing happening every single day, the routine, that's super stabilizing and grounding and makes a child feel safe. Versus imagine if a kid they wake up in a different city and then they are on a plane when they wake up and then they wake up in a boat, and like that might be exciting and fun and different, but for a child that's like super disorienting and can really mess them up. So for you kind of want to move into a more exciting, more varied, just like even if it's only like a little bit different than your routine that's like really starting to bore you and kind of bum you out. In order to do that, you gotta like upgrade that pattern. So that's what I'll work on in this energy healing for you if you want it. Okay, I'm just gonna start working on you. So I'm just kind of like helping you separate out. It's like take the sense of stability and like, so that pattern, that you can go back to it. I'm just kind of separating you out so like you're more your own self rather than just like a copy, like the latest version of both of your parents. And even if you think like, oh, I'm nothing like my parents, like you can still be dictated by them. So like, if dad always made a turkey sandwich, you're like, I'm never gonna make a turkey sandwich for myself every single day. You're like, I'm gonna do something crazy, like make egg salad sandwiches for myself every single day. You both eat your sandwich at the exact same time, but you're having like different flavors, but it's still like the same pattern is running for you. So I'm just like helping you separate out so that you're kind of your own person. You can appreciate like the stability that was provided to you, but like at this point it's like holding you back. So only do this if you're actually like really bored and it's grinding on you. So if you are happy with things as they are, then just turn this off. But for most of us, we're gonna want to hang out. Okay, so I'm just, separating you out. You may notice some small preferences change, you might change your sense of style a little bit. You might do like different haircut or buy different clothes or something like that. Your food preferences might change, like all of a sudden you're like, oh, I love Vietnamese food, and your family's like, what? So for this group, it's just the beginning. And this is a really exciting thing because you're going to really get to know yourself. It's like meeting yourself for the first time, and you're going to find out all these preferences and these things that make you unique that you may have overlooked or not realized. So if you have like little interests, like little hobbies that come up, the tendency might be for you to like shush them away or dismiss them. Go into it, and I think you're going to be really surprised with how much you enjoy them. So that can apply to whatever the new thing is that's coming in for you. And then maybe for 50% of us, just feel into which one you are. Just kind of go with your intuition on it. Some of us, it's fine for us to talk about these new things, and sharing it will add to our excitement and help us find new possibilities. The other half of us, it's really important that you just kind of keep it to yourself and you just nurture yourself and you go explore that on your own. Because sometimes when we change, other people around us feel uncomfortable or unsafe because they don't know necessarily what that experience is like. So not trying to hold us back or be mean in any way. They'll just kind of be like, oh, what do you mean? Why do you like Vietnamese food? What's wrong with my food? There's nothing wrong with their food. You still like their food, and you just want to explore this stuff. So I know 50-50 is not the most useful distinction, but just feel into that and like see if you need to just kind of keep it to yourself, this new exploration that you're doing. Alright, if you like the feeling that you have right now, you can just kind of stay in this place. You can stay in like meditation and just hang out here for a little bit, for however long you want to on your own. Yeah, and if you enjoyed this, please like the video if you feel like it. Alright, cool. See you next time.